So, in my last very pitiful update on this car, I believe it was actually the last video that went up on the channel, we had some issues with this car. We ended up finding out that our O2 sensor was continuing to nag at us. We ended up having an issue with one of the rear brakes that we literally just replaced. We figured out our issue with our brake. It ended up being really stupid. Just one of the pins had come loose for the parking brake. We got that all fixed up, but then when we tried to take care of our O2 sensor, it went downhill really fast. Completely rounded the sensor off, and now I'm not able to remove it with a normal wrench. So we're gonna try to see if we can keep our O2 sensor code off long enough that we can get this thing in and pass inspection and everything. If not, then we are going to have to remove our downpipe, only to remove our sensor then with the tools that I can get on it once it's out of the car, throw a new sensor in, put it back in the car, and then do the same thing later when we install our new downpipe, but that'll make more sense as time goes on. Right now though, the problem that I want to fix is we have been having a weird high idle issue. At the end of the last video, that popped up out of nowhere once again. We have gotten engine light codes for the throttle position sensor in the past, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume that's what it is because I cannot find any obvious vacuum leaks. I've done a ton of investigation off camera and nothing unusual. Under boost, this does leak a little bit here and I need to get a new charge pipe in here ASAP, as you guys already know, but that is not causing a vacuum leak of any sort. So I ended up pulling these two little sensors out of the car. At first I thought this was our throttle position sensor, but this is actually above the throttle itself, and I'm not 100% sure what this is. I can't remember what it's called. And then this is our throttle position sensor. This goes down below here, bolts up to the side of the throttle. You can see this is the electrical connector for it. You can see right there, that's where this little metal piece goes into on the sensor, and what happens is when the throttle turns, this turns, and that turns inside the sensor. The sensor can tell what's going on via that. Pretty simple, pretty cool little thing, but we have been getting engine light codes for that, so I decided to go ahead and just replace that. I'm gonna go run and grab one. That is a $77 sensor for an Eklund brand one at Napa. I don't like to cheap out on sensors because I have in the past, and all it has done is given me issues. So it's better to spend the money and never have an issue again. But hopefully we'll have that at least ironed out by the end of today, and we'll see if we can keep our O2 sensor code off. If not, well, this is gonna be an interesting episode. And back a little bit later, I went ahead and ran to Napa. Ended up having to order the new sensor for tomorrow because they didn't have it in stock, but we can at least try to see if we can keep our O2 sensor code off for today and mess with that for a little bit. I also went ahead and pulled our map sensor out, and the sensor actually looks perfectly clean. I'm gonna give it a quick little cleaning out just to make sure it's 100%. Sometimes these get like oil in them and build up and stuff over time, and it'll cause them to read weirdly and could just cause some random issues. I don't know, but I figured while I was at it, I might as well pull it out. We're gonna throw them back in for now and take this thing out for another spin and get it going, and hopefully keep our engine light off for a little bit. I just realized something. I just went to go put our throttle position sensor back in for now, and I noticed there's a literal hole broken in the back of the housing. Loose piece of plastic in there. You could hear it rattling. You can like see it inside that hole there. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess this is going bad. All right, just like that, got all our sensors plugged in. Let's see how this goes. Alright, erasing our codes.
Oh yeah!
About 15 minutes of driving later. No engine lights, no anything. I think we good. So far so good. I'll check back with you guys tomorrow when we get our new throttle position sensor and I drive this thing a little bit more, and hopefully it's still in the same position that it is now. Alright boys, got the PT-GT back in here finally. We got our new sensor here. I had to order it at Napa, but it's here. This was $77 out the door, which hurts me a little bit, but it's worth it to make sure that this isn't going to have any more issues, and we're never going to have to replace that ever again. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw that in place of our old one. Then we'll test this thing out and see if the idle stops acting a little funny and make sure that it's good to go. Couple minutes later, got our new sensor all installed. Forgot to mention that I drove this thing downtown earlier to go ahead and pick up our new sensor, and still have no engine light because of our oxygen sensor. Mostly idle, other than acting slightly funny at first. Had no issues, no high idle or anything, so let's hope it stays that way. Oh yeah. Now we just gotta keep that check engine light off a little bit longer. sadly though, I just took her out for a little spin around the block here to see if our throttle position sensor was indeed our reason for our cruise control issues, because the cruise control kicks off real quickly, and unfortunately it already kicked off on me. It won't work anymore. What happens is if there's any malfunction within the cruise control system, the car's cruise control will just immediately shut down and will not come back on. It's super sensitive and fragile like that because it doesn't want to put you, you know, in a dangerous situation where your cruise control malfunctions and causes you to not be able to stop, or, you know, something like that. So if there's any slight issue detected, it just immediately shuts it down. Something we have to figure out at some point, but yeah, I was kind of hoping that would fix it, but I guess not.
3 days later.
Oh, hello there. Put a little light on the subject. There we go. Been a few days I've had the GT just parked in here, haven't been driving it. It's just been literally sitting. Don't want to drive it too much so that we don't get our oxygen sensor code to come back on, but for now, it's staying off. I'm gonna be driving it one more time today just to make sure that it's good to go.
I just realized that I failed to explain how this all works, but basically modern cars have what's called monitors. They monitor different systems like the evap system, the catalyst system, the misfire, a bunch of stuff like that. And when you reset your codes, it resets those monitors. So when I reset my codes for the O2 sensor, what I'm basically doing is trying to drive the car just enough so that the other monitors are ready, except for that monitor. In New York State, I don't know how it works with other states, but you're allowed to have, I think, 1 or 2 monitors not ready at the time of inspection. When they plug their computer in, if there's 1 or 2 monitors not ready, they can still pass it. So basically what I'm doing is I'm using the trick where I reset it, I drive it just enough that most of my monitors are ready, and then I take it in, and then it will just barely pass through. A lot of people use this trick for pesky evap codes and stuff like that, and I was hoping to use that trick now, so fingers crossed that it works.
Tomorrow, I finally have an appointment to get this thing in and get the inspection done, so fingers crossed that we finally get it all set. I'm gonna go ahead and check our codes right now though. No codes are stored in the module. So far so good with all that stuff. Oh, come on. Oh, what the heck? This car has needed a new battery for a long time, and maybe it's finally time to get one.
A few moments.
All right, we got her. She's good to go. Little jumper pack came in clutch as usual. Woo! Oh boys, do I have an update today for you. So basically, I made an appointment for earlier today for an inspection over at my favorite tire place where I go for literally everything. They've been really good to me and they're pretty reasonable about inspection, so I said, screw it, I'm gonna make an appointment over there. Gonna see if we can slide the PT-GT through while the engine light's off. The rest of that car is perfectly solid, the tires are perfect, everything's perfect. Started it up this morning to check on everything, make sure the engine light was good, make sure our monitors were good. I was plugging the code reader in, everything was looking great. We only had like 1 or 2 monitors that weren't ready yet, and you can usually pass like that. So we were looking good. I disconnected the code reader. I was getting ready to head out, and the engine light popped on. And it was for the O2 sensor, as usual. So I got kind of screwed. Last minute, I couldn't take that car over like I was planning to. So I said, well, the daily doesn't have a check engine light. Let's take that over. So I did. I brought it over to the appointment, left it there, and got a call a little while later. They said, yo, like, the car is literally perfect. Everything's good. Even the tires passed, which I was a little bit worried about because they're getting closer to the wear bar. They said the car was perfect other than one little thing. So you guys might remember a long time ago I made a video about the sway bar. I replaced all the bushings on the sway bar because they are clunking like crazy, making all kinds of nasty noises. It was right after I bought this car actually. But when I was doing that, one of the bolts was so rusted in the sway bar that I just completely sheared the head off. So I had to do something to hold it together. So what I ended up doing was using a jacking up against it and just bird crap welding it onto the car and sent it like that, and it's been fine for a while, but apparently it did come apart, which I didn't even know about. So if I can get some light on it, yeah, now you can see the one hanger completely came loose on the sway bar back there, and it's because the welds didn't hold up. Had no welding experience, and I still have very little welding experience, but we're still gonna try to grind it up today and see if we can tack that thing back on there a little bit better and hopefully keep it on there long enough to pass and to not have any more issues. Well guys, those welds look like actual crap. Like, Like actual, ew. I have a feeling they're not gonna hold either. It's just too corroded. The bracket is actually slightly bent and like twisted, so I wasn't able to like close the gap completely. So there was a tiny bit of a gap. It wasn't like flush against it in some spots. So I don't know if the welds are gonna hold or if they filled it or what. Oh, they're holding so far. Also, something else they noted to me and that I didn't feel before. This must be pretty recent, but the ball joint on this side, you guys will probably be able to hear it, but it has some play in it now. Kind of sad that this one's already starting to go bad, but they said the play wasn't bad enough that it could like be failed for inspection or anything, but they just wanted to let me know, which I'm really glad because last time I checked, you know, usually every time I jack up the car, I check the wheels and give them a wiggle and make sure that everything is a-okay. Last time I did that, I didn't notice any movement, but just recently I started to notice a tiny vibration in the steering wheel, and I just figured it was because these tires were maybe a wheel weight, but I've been meaning to check. I didn't get around to it, and they checked for me. So now we know. One more thing to add to the list. Alright guys, took her out for a little 10-15 minute spin and went around some corners and stuff to try to stress the bar a little. And it's holding on for dear life. It's barely hanging on. This side of it, I don't think I got the welds very well. It's a little bit harder to reach, so the welds on that side of it didn't really hold very well, but the other side seems to be holding. I don't know. What I really need to do is drill and tap that hole and get a whole new bracket for it and clean that whole area up, but will this get us through inspection? Well, you're gonna find out in the next clip. Alright guys, new day, time to continue our inspection struggles. I already made a phone call to another local shop right in town. They're usually booked up quite a bit ahead and it's going to take almost a week, but I made an appointment for the daily to go ahead and slide it in there. But shout out to Dean because he might have just saved my butt as far as the PTGT is concerned. There is a shop just down the road from me that I didn't even know about that he told me about. Apparently it's an older guy and you know, he's pretty easy on the inspection stuff. As much as I love the tire shop that I go to all the time, you know, they are a chain shop, you know, they have stricter stuff like that, and you know, they're in it for more cash flow than a lot of the smaller guys are. You know, I hate saying that about shops, but I mean, you gotta make money somehow. I know as a businessman, you don't make any money off inspections, so part of doing inspections as a shop is it brings you in more business, and I totally get that. But me as a car enthusiast and a guy who works on his own cars but doesn't have his own official dealer and shop yet, it's kind of frustrating. Rant aside though, the PTGT's battery is like on its last leg. I am gonna have to jump start it to even get it started right now. Then I am going to drive straight to Napa and pick up a replacement battery for that car because you know what, it's time. It's needed to happen. Then I'm gonna go drive down to the shop that's right down the road from me and hopefully be able to stop in and make an appointment with the old guy and hopefully finally end our struggles. All right, jumpers on. Come on, baby. Oh, come on, you're so close. There we go. Shout out to the cold weather for making everything that much more of a pain. We got some flake, got a little bit of the white stuff overnight, and it is just brutally cold now. Heater all the way up, baby. Woo! On the plus side, I was about to go ahead and reset our codes so that we could try to slide this thing through inspection, but well, I don't have to now because the battery died and did it for me. New battery acquired. Actually a little cheaper than I thought. I got some money off because I'm a rewards member. Alright boys, appointment has been made. I just went ahead and stopped at that shop, made an appointment for tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, I gotta wake up early to get there in time, at least early for me. We're gonna get it in. I'm gonna go ahead and swap this battery out when we get back to the shop, and we'll have to drive it around a little tonight. I don't think we'll have any trouble, but worst scenario, you know, it's a local shop. It's literally right down the road from me, so I think this one's gonna work out. There we go. Holy crap, I actually get to use my battery tray again. It's a miracle. New battery is in and strapped down and good to go. I am so happy that I finally have replaced it after all this time. This one's actually good and it's gonna last. The only problem is that we set our monitors and everything, and our inspection appointment is for tomorrow morning. So yeah, I'm gonna need to do a little bit of driving tonight. I'm gonna drive it around, get it warmed up, and then driving it there tomorrow morning. Hopefully that'll get it good enough that he'll be willing to pass it. But all I know right now is I need gas, and I need gas really bad. So we're gonna go do that. One fresh tank of 93 later, there's actually one of the local cops was sitting here at the gas station inside getting something. I don't know what he was doing, but the car was sitting right there, and as he pulled out, I'm like, please don't look at my inspection, bro. Hopefully I can make it through town and not get pulled over and get this done tomorrow. So I think I'm going to keep the appointment for next week for this car, and in the meantime we're actually going to be getting some work done on it. That is as long as the GT passes tomorrow, which I don't doubt that it will. In the meantime, I might as well take advantage and get some stuff done. The heater is still having an issue where the blend door keeps locking up and it'll get stuck on defrost, or it'll get stuck on, you know, you're coming out at your face or whatever. It really sucks this time of year, so I need to take it apart, figure out exactly what happened. It's going to be a bit of a job. I also want to take a look at our heater core because I have smelled a tiny bit of coolant. Seems to be the heater, so it could need a heater core, but yeah, that is a really big job, but I could make some really cool videos on that as well, so I'm not too disappointed if that is the case. Also gonna, you know, pressure check the cooling system and everything and check everything over with that. I need to fix one of the windows. The driver window is still having some issues. When you try to roll it down all the way, sometimes it'll get stuck. That really just sucks this time of year because you don't want your window to get stuck down if you're like at a drive-thru or whatever, because it's really cold now. Also, if you ever got like pulled over or something and your window wouldn't roll down, that can cause a messy situation. So, you know, it's really good to make sure at least that window is working good. I do have a spare window motor here. I'm pretty sure it's for the other side of the car though, so I might try to swap it out. I don't know if it'll work in here or if they have regulators or what. I don't remember, but we got to figure that out as well. We just got a bunch of TLC that this car has needed for a while, and before it can enter its next phase of life, I really just need to get a bunch of stuff done. Maybe we'll even squeeze a timing belt in there somehow. I don't know. In the meantime, hopefully this car will pass inspection tomorrow and I will be able to drive that, and I will have this car for a little bit longer while the snow holds off, and you know, before the weather gets really, really bad, I'll be able to drive this. I guess that's my plan for now, but I'm gonna drive this car one more time tonight, and tomorrow I'm going to pick up the camera after the inspection to let you guys know whether or not we passed, and that's probably where we're gonna wind down the video. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning, and I'll probably only be half awake. Well, boys, that sticker's blue. She passed, boys. She finally freaking passed. And you want to see the really funny part? Turns out that the shop that Dean referred me to is awesome. The guy is really cool, really nice old guy. He plugged this fancy thing in and said they were good. We got it, baby. And it literally, as soon as I was driving out of the driveway, the light came back on. This car is not happy. The O2 sensor is not happy, but we got to get that figured out. We're gonna get it fixed. We're gonna be throwing the new downpipe in shortly anyways, but all that matters is I finally got that blue sticker, and we're good to go there, so we can do whatever the heck we want. But before we do that, we got some stuff to get done on that car, and that's what you're gonna see hopefully here in the next couple episodes. So be sure to stay tuned for them, but I wanted to hurry up and get this video out for you guys as a little update on the latest struggles, since I don't really have any other full video ready for you guys. But stay tuned. Within the next few days we'll have another episode out, probably on that car, and a lot more good stuff to come, a lot more fun stuff to come on the GT now, finally, that I've gotten over that hurdle. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little update. Hit the thumbs up button if you did, comment down below, whatever, I don't even care, but just interact with the video, helps out a lot. And yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. God bless and peace out.